What is up, everybody? This is Outbreak Cards, and welcome back to episode 14 of Cardboard Talks. Now, if you weren't able to catch last week's episode, I basically talked to you guys about how to properly ship your cards, and several people brought up some really good points that I do want to point out. And I'm going to give a shout out to these people as I read their comments because, honestly, these were just smart things to say and things that I honestly didn't think of when creating the episode. Kyle said, I got a bunch of base cards off eBay for under $2. They came in a PWE. All cards arrived in good condition. So I guess what I'm saying is if the value is low enough, it makes logical sense to ship them PWE. If I were to buy or ship a card with a value over 6, I would expect there to be a bubble mailer used. And I can see that, and this is coming from somebody who's only ever bought or sold cards, I guess, where the value is important enough to be used, or high enough, I should say, to use a bubble mailer over a PWE. Yes, I have gotten PWE, and yes, it ticks me off every single time I get them and open them, because you can see the card pushing up against the side of that envelope, where it's kind of just stuck there for quite possibly days on end underneath mounds of other stuff. Now, another really good point I had was from Kobe's Cards, and if you guys have not checked out Kobe's Cards, I suggest you do it. Really nice guy, hit me up on Twitter and he said, hey, I'm a YouTube channel who basically talks about Kobe Bryant and his legacy and the stories I have from meeting him and things like that. And I talked to him for hours and hours, and he was just a nice, kind person. If you guys have Kobe Cards, hit him up to trade. His YouTube basically says, celebrating the life of Kobe Bryant through the lens of basketball cards. So there you have it. But he actually brought up a really good point as well. He said, keep in mind it's important to read the terms you're agreeing to, especially on eBay orders. If the shipping is free and the description says PWE, that's what you're agreeing to. And that is 100% true, because we've all probably made that mistake where we've gotten some cheap shipping, or we've agreed to something and we're like, whoops, I regret that immediately. Personally, I've done that where I bought into breaks where teams don't have autos or jerseys or anything like that, any hits in that product, and immediately regretted it. Been there, done that. We all make mistakes, and you are 100% right. If the shipping is free, expect, quite possibly, unfortunately, cheaper shipping methods where instead of bubble wrap, you could be getting crumpled up newspaper that smells like a wet sock, for all we know. Do I know what a wet sock smells like? No, I don't, but that's just what I'm going to go with. Now, in this week's episode, and I do appreciate you guys again for commenting, I'm just going to talk to you guys about what I've been up to during COVID, and it is more stressful than I thought. As I detailed in my 600 subscriber giveaway, I am still working. I've been mowing yards. In fact, today I've mowed 4, and I picked up another one that I will be doing weekly. I do not travel to my yards. Instead, I use my rider, which right now my zero turn is in a shop, and I believe that is a non-essential, so I have not seen it in weeks. I did not change the oil at the end of last season, therefore blowing out the motor, having to replace that with the help of my father, and we were not able to get the throttle to work properly because it was always in high gear even when we were trying to just shut it off. So that was put on a trailer, sent out, and we're waiting word on it really on when it can be fixed and when we can pick it up. For Greene County right now in Missouri, which is a county I'd say that's fairly large and holds most of Springfield inside of it, which is the third biggest city in Missouri, we have had a lockdown, I believe, a little more than 2 weeks, or as of today, 2 weeks. Our lockdown would be around 2 weeks. I believe it was Thursday, actually. So a day less than 2 weeks. And we put that out right before, a couple days ago when they said, all right, all of Missouri now is going to go under this. So I'm still mowing. I'm still doing my other job, which is a warehouse job. I won't say much about it because, privacy, of course. But we are open because we are a place that is deemed important to stay open as well. Other than that, I am still in school. I have 5 courses right now that are stressing the hell out of me because right now I have multiple papers due, finals in a couple weeks. I've had 3 seated classes that have been moved online, and there's a reason a class is seated instead of online. Generally, seated courses are easier, knock on wood, if you're taking or planning on taking seated classes. That's just unfortunately the way it is. It's harder. And I also had to do scheduling today. And then, of course, we have everything with COVID, making sure we're trying to stay safe, making sure we're being as clean as possible, washing our hands, showering, wearing face masks, which I have been lucky enough to acquire some, and all those kinds of things, and just staying busy with all of life stuff that's thrown at me. Other than that, I've been really working on organizing my collection again. Some of my best videos have been on organizing my large sports collection. I looked yesterday, one had 6,000 views plus and was the most popular on my YouTube channel, while the other one I think was over 1,000, where it was more or less part one, part two. And part one was like, yeah, I have this sport and here's the years on the drawer. Part two was, well, I've taken the drawers away because they don't exactly allow for me to make sure these corners don't get dinged up, and I've now put them into 5,000 count boxes with the year and the sport. And now it has gotten to the point to where I basically didn't have a spring break because I had a paper due after spring break, and then we got an extra week tacked on because of the COVID stuff, and then we got moved online. So I was doing a paper in the entire spring break, but I was able to finish a 5,000 count box of basketball that is not organized by year and team. It's just by team because I don't even have a full 5,000 count box yet of NBA. But it was nice to go back through that because I found some Trae Young rookies that I think are really nice to have, and I put them in my futures box, which I will talk about in a minute. Then I went through all my football, and I have a box I'm looking at right now. My big year was 2013. I have Bears through Titans in one box of 2013. 2011 and 2012, college, as well as 2000 through 2010, 2015 Texans through 2018, and the other one I can't read because the lid's partially on. All this stuff that I have from 2019 and going into 2020 are going into a new 5,000 count box where I'm just going to keep them, as of now, organized by what product and year they are. I'm not going to quite put them into team kind of list with a year right now. Baseball is next. I have finished one box of baseball, and that is, looks like 2016 to 2019. 2020 is, obviously here, and if you didn't know the good rookies from last year, it's kind of like, well, you shouldn't be collecting, I guess. Football more or less is the same way, but with baseball right now, I finished that box, and I've got a box here from 2000 to 2008. I have very little 2000 to 2005, maybe 3/4 of just one slot of that 5,000 count box, so maybe 750 cards. But I have organized 2006 and 2007, and the last category I have in this is 2008. Once this is done, I'll probably set up a YouTube video on my channel, calling it like part 3 to organizing my large collection. After this, guys, people will be able to say, I want this specific rookie. We could say, I want Mahomes rookies. Now, all my Mahomes are, of course, pulled out because that's part of my PC, one of my big guys I collect. But I could easily go 2017, Chiefs, football, dig in, pull out, and look through. That would also be good for me to look through as well later on down the road when a no-namer becomes the next star athlete or team captain on their team or in their sport. Again, same thing, go to the sport, go to the year, go to the team, pull it out, and you see that section, which I think is really cool. And this will help me to stay more organized and also allow for me to offer up if anybody wants to complete sets as well, needs that help to do it, because I'm more than free to trade or sell cards if you need to complete a set. But that is the next thing that I'm undertaking. As of now, like I said, I'm on my second 5,000 count box with 1 year left to go in this one. I've got another one on a desk and 2 more on my table that I generally use to shoot my YouTube videos. This Friday, we will be hopefully opening Chronicles football. I have messaged my LCS to see if there's some way we can work something out, and we're not quite sure of it right now. It just depends on how things are going in the area and how we can do it safely, and also if we're even allowed to do it by law, and with Panini and Top shutting down their warehouses, if it will even be available. But that is the truth of it, and sometimes that's just the way it works out, and we're just trying to play this as safe as possible right now. But that's all I've really been up to. Lots of work, lots of insane school stuff. I'm trying to stay sane, trying to find time at the end of the day to really just chill and be calm and spend time with family, spend times with my significant other, spend time with my friends gaming every night for a few hours before waking up, going to work, coming home and doing homework, gaming again, and starting it all over again the next day. I hope you all are having some good times during this crisis, and I hope these times aren't hitting you all too difficultly hard. I'm looking out for you guys as best I can. I'm trying to provide you guys with some content to keep your mind off of it, but I thought this update would be something that was a little bit important. I don't honestly usually give specifics about my life, but I did do a Q&A once, and I think that it's time to have some hope and share my hope that we can all get through this. And if I can get through this semester working 2 jobs, we can get through this pandemic, and I hope everything turns out well for you guys. I hope you guys are having a good time with your family, staying safe and staying healthy, and that you guys are growing that closer bond or that tighter bond to your significant others or your children or your extended family or long-lost friends or whoever that may be, and you're maybe getting some hard work done organizing your collection like I am. But that is all from me this week, guys. I do appreciate each and every one of you as always. Feel free to comment below if you do have an idea for a future episode. I do have a few, but decided against doing one of those this week because I didn't feel that they were relevant right now with everything going on and no sports, which honestly really stinks. I was going to try to listen to as many Cardinals games as possible this year, possibly put them on at work on my laptop if possible and do some stuff off to the side, but we'll just have to wait and see how that goes, and hope for the very, very best. That is all from me this week, guys. Thank you for listening, watching, whatever you may do, looking at my thumbnail, listening to my sweet, sweet voice. I appreciate you all very, very much. Have a great rest of your week. Don't forget that I will try to have out Chronicles on Friday. If that is not possible, I will look into trying to find a substitute for Chronicles. That may include a retail rip because odds are very slim that I can find any hobby products out in the wild right now, but I will do what I can. I appreciate you all very much for sticking around and listening to this video. I appreciate you all for joining the channel with our new subscriber giveaway, and I hope you guys stick around because we've got more awesome things on the horizon as this pandemic goes away, as the school year comes to a close, and as the summer comes on. Thank you guys again. Hope you have a great rest of your week, and I will talk to you all later.